What's up? My name is Gustavo, and today we are going to learn pattern matching and how to use pattern matching to reuse functions, which makes your code easier to understand and easier to refactor. We're going to learn as well how to use TDD to write a better code. I hope you enjoyed this class and enjoy it. Let's continue our class. And as we remember, we were talking about this test. I'm gonna run all of them. So this was an alias that I have. So let's run the mixtest.watch. And when we come over here, all of them should have the balance 1000. And this is not something that is true. So one more thing that we need to talk about. Let's just see the users for a while. And as you can see, all of them, we have the balance like 1000. And so first, one of the things that we need to do, we already have the users. We created pattern matching to check the users, and if we found the user and throw errors too. And now what we're going to do is that we need to get the users and transfer the money, send the money from to another user. So our first step, what we're going to do is that our find user is fine. But what we're going to do, instead of returning OK, we're going to return the user because we don't want to search the user again. And when we do it, we're going to break a couple more chests. Also, one of the things that it's going to happen, we have our test, and when we are sending the money and from user, as you can see, we have the user right here, and sometimes we got the error. So we are talking about the check user to exist. And the function is just prepared to return like this. Okay, but we're going to change to a user. And then instead of just how can I say, instead of just returning like okay, we are going to do other stuffs, and we need to move this line to this one here. Now because we have it, we need to make a couple more conditions. And then what we're going to do, we are going to check if the user should exist. And we already know how it works, so we're going to create one more case statement. So right here, we're going to have the users when it is an error. We're going to have the error and whatever. And then this is going to be our result. We're just going to return the result. But if it's okay, we're going to return the users and user 2. And what we're going to return, we're going to change our pattern matching to return the users, which is something that we really need. The user from, because it will come from this guy, user from, and then return the user to. Let's just change this pattern matching. As you can see, we got a couple tests failing, so this one we're gonna fix, but let's just focus on this one because we got the error result here. See, that was the change. So they were no function calls where we have no return the user and the username right here. So it is on line 17. Oh, It's complaining. Let's check if user 2 exists. Okay, so we got the if user 2 exists line 7, because we were expecting an error. Just check what I did here. The difference was change to user, it's fine. User from will be the same. And then here check if user exists. Check if users do. It is complaining because it is unused. Yeah, that makes sense because we call this infantry. Check if user 2 exists. I got it. What was wrong? Gonna be a tuple, not a pattern, so it's fine, which is fine now. We are okay with this result. This is gonna be I think it's fine because now we got the user, so we're gonna change this function, but let's just focus on, let's just ignore both tests, and then what we're gonna do is start creating we're gonna update the balancing between them. So our next step, let's say update balancing, sending the amount. As you can see, our pattern matching, if it's working, is one, and if it's failing is another. So let's just focus on the first one. So the first one is gonna be the users. And then the most important is the error and result. Thank you, Copilot. And then update balancing, where everything is fine. I'm gonna have the users, user from user to, and then balancing amount, sorry. So right here, let me just ignore the amount. It doesn't make sense for us. And then we're gonna have the users, and at the beginning we are going to delete, so the user from and the user to, we already have them here. Then we're gonna get the users, because we're gonna update the list. And then what we're gonna do is, let's get the user from. You already know those pattern matchings. And balancing will be from that balancing mount, and the same to. So this is gonna be two. And I made a mistake here. It's gonna be from user from and user from, and we're gonna add the same amount on user 2. And then let's just updating the list following this pattern. And defining amount where on line 15. Oh, just uncomment this because we're talking about users. Right here on our test, for us it really doesn't make sense because we're just going to return the users, So this test will be like started being something that does not make sense for us, because the last test that we are talking about, which is this one, is the same. So we can just remove this one, and then we can come over here and make a refactor on our test. So what we're gonna do is assert enum.find users, and then I'm gonna say and one email was from dot balance will be 19997. So let's just make something like this that we can just reuse on our app. And the same one here, but two, where it's gonna be gusto, and then you can just change it here and change it here. And now let's just use 2, and the value here is going to be 1003. And there you go. So right here, it's not going to return for us like this list. I know that it's just a simple test. We can refactor this a little bit later, and everything is fine. What else are missing related to send money? So one of the tests that we need to do is that, how about if user don't have money on his account? We need to create that test too. So for example, this one will be a little bit straightforward. So it's going to be quite similar with this one. Let's just copy and paste it. And what we're going to do is give a user list when user don't have money, then return an error message. And what we're gonna do is that, let's change this to 1001, and I'm gonna say assert, gonna be users, gonna be like users, and error message will be pumpkin, just for testing now, and then we can refactor it. So as you can see, our test is failing, and then we just need to go to our balance, and what we're gonna do is if user from balance amount is gonna be the return. If it's a less amount, that's fine, and if it's not, we're gonna follow this step here. So Copilot, help me. So this is just a conditional validation. I think it's fine. The most important is the error message. As you can see now, it's almost there. We can just copy the message right here and add right here. And there you go. So it's complaining on this line. We can just ignore it, and it's fine. So that was the class. So you've learned, if you check what we've learned, is using piping to creating test. Seems to be weird if it's your first touch with Elixir, because we are using a functional programming language. We're gonna see more details in the short future. One more thing related here, so we added a couple more validations. So at the beginning, we just returned OK because we were preparing our application, return something more meaningful. And one more thing, so if you run a learn Elixir from zero until you feel confident to build anything with Elixir, Phoenix, and live view, click on the link below and then you can watch a free class where I explain to you a lot of techniques. One of them that we are using is TDD, so it's so straightforward to use test-driven development with Elixir. Hope you enjoyed this class and see you on the next one. Bye bye.